Have you ever been walking down the street and then someone starts following you? It's a scary experience that can happen to anyone. And there are some things that you can do in order to protect yourself. That's why today I want to share with you a haunted street real horror story. Then I'm gonna tell you 3 important things that you should do if something like this happens to you. Welcome back to my channel, where we share stories of crime, mystery, and paranormal activity from around the world. If you love true crime stories, then make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Now, let's get into today's video. They say nothing good ever happens after midnight, but I've got to say that is very true, because that was the time that 24-year-old Amber Van Heck was stalked by a mysterious man while she was walking home alone from a pub in Norwich, England. As she walked past the cemetery along the dimly lit road, she was terrified when she saw a man holding a huge meat cleaver following her. She tried to ignore him and hoped that he wouldn't notice her. But that was impossible, since he kept getting closer and closer, and she could hear the chains dragging on the ground with every step that he took. Amber picked up her pace and began to walk quickly down the street, but the man continued to follow her at the same pace. He even quickened his step, and soon he was almost right behind her. Finally, he said something. "You look nice. Do you want to come and see my collection?" But before she could even respond, he grabbed her arm, pulled her into a dark alley, and dragged her behind a wall. Just then, a car drove by, and he let go of her and ran away. When the car passed, Amber called out to the people inside, "Help me, please, call the police." But they didn't seem to hear her, and they just drove away. Now terrified and completely alone, she found her way out of the alley and ran all the way home. Once she got inside, she locked the door and tried to calm herself down, but she couldn't stop shaking. She knew that she had to tell her family what happened, but she didn't know how. She was afraid of their reaction, afraid they would force her to move somewhere else or not allow her to go out at night. So instead, she stayed quiet and hoped that the nightmare would be over once the sun came up. But that wasn't the case. The next morning, she went out to buy some milk, and on her way home, she saw the man with the meat cleaver again. This time, he just stood on the corner watching her. After that day, she became a prisoner in her own home, unable to go outside without fear of running into the man with the meat cleaver. Every time she did need to leave, she made sure that she had a weapon with her, either a hammer or a baseball bat. But that didn't really help, because she still felt terrified. Plus, she knew that if the man really wanted to hurt her, he could easily overpower her. After a few weeks, she finally decided to tell her family about what happened. They were furious and demanded that she move in with them so they could protect her. However, this caused a huge fight between Amber and her boyfriend, who thought that she was overreacting. In the end, she chose her family's house and never looked back. She tried to put the whole incident behind her, but she never forgot the terrifying experience. Well, that's all pretty crazy, right? Well, believe it or not, this actually happened to a woman named Amber Van Heck in Norfolk, England. Her story was published in the Eastern Daily Press, where she told the reporter exactly what happened to her. Now I'm going to tell you 3 lessons that we can learn from this case. No. 1. Never ignore your intuition. Something tells me that most of us have experienced this at some point in our lives. That feeling that someone is following us. Even though we might tell ourselves that we're being paranoid, deep down we know that we should do something to make ourselves safer. Maybe we should cross the street or walk faster. And maybe sometimes those feelings are just our imagination, but other times they could be life-saving. In Amber's case, she knew that the man who was following her was dangerous. And even though she tried to ignore it, in the end it only made things worse. So always listen to your gut instincts. If something doesn't feel right, then do something about it. No. 2. Put your safety first. There are some situations in life where we can't just rely on the police to keep us safe. We need to take matters into our own hands. That doesn't mean that we need to become vigilantes and take the law into our own hands. It simply means that we need to be proactive about our own safety and take steps to protect ourselves. For example, if you live in a high-crime area, then you might want to install security cameras around your home. Or if you're walking down a dark street and you feel like someone's following you, then you should cross the street or walk into a well-lit area. In Amber's case, she knew that the man who was following her was dangerous, which is why she started carrying a weapon with her. Although that's not the best idea in every situation, it's important to remember that you're responsible for protecting yourself. Number 3, Be aware of your surroundings. In today's society, it's easy to get caught up in our own little worlds. We're constantly bombarded with distractions, and it's easy to tune out everything around us. However, being unaware of your surroundings can make you vulnerable to danger. When Amber was first approached by the man with the meat cleaver, she was probably thinking about something else. The man had probably been following her for some time, and he knew that she was distracted. He also knew that she wouldn't be able to defend herself if he attacked her. That's why it's important to be aware of your surroundings at all times. When you're walking down a public street, pay attention to the people around you. Are there any strangers? Do you feel like you're being followed? By being aware of your surroundings, you can better protect yourself from danger. In conclusion, the story of the haunted street serves as a reminder for all of us to be aware of our surroundings and to take steps to protect ourselves. Never ignore your intuition. Put your safety first and be aware of your surroundings. By following these simple tips, we can all make sure that we're doing everything we can to stay safe. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to share it with your friends if you think they will like it. If you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I will see you in the next video.